now at a point in my life in which I've seen both Annabelle films, and I have to say things are different now. I'm scarred, I'm damaged beyond all repair, and I'm completely void of all hope. Oh, no. Not because these films are scary. It's because they're horrendous. I'm a fan of both Conjuring films. Good storytelling, likable characters, the whole thing. James Wan does a good job. And since the two main characters are paranormal investigators, it's perfectly acceptable and believable for there to be sequels. Considering the sheer amount of haunted shit they keep in their basement, it even seems plausible for The Conjuring to have an extended universe. In theory. Because the extended universe I've seen so far has overextended. It's not too good, pal. They have managed to take a character. Is she a character? Let's call her a character. We've named her. She's ours now. Anyways, they've taken a character who was once one of the scarier elements of The Conjuring and turned her into an overcomplicated shit show. This bitch has more backstories than the Joker. I thought the first film was supposed to be her origin story, but then we got another film which was her actual origin story, so it's essentially the prequel to a prequel of The Conjuring. Confused yet? Well, just wait, because I'm gonna go into these films at length, and by the end of it, you'll probably be even more confused, not only with these films, but with your place in the universe in general. But before we get into her solo projects, let's go back a little bit to her debut, when she was in a good movie. Annabelle is essentially the prologue to the first Conjuring film. Her story is used to both set the tone and explain what it is Ed and Lorraine Warren do. These two young nurses explain that there was a spirit who had been in contact with them. The spirit identified itself as a 7-year-old girl named Annabelle who supposedly died in their house a long time ago and wanted permission to move into the doll. They say okay because...
When we heard this, we felt really sorry for her. I mean, we're nurses, we help people.
But of course, that was a bad idea, and Annabelle starts moving around the house and drawing on the walls and shit. So they try to get rid of the doll by throwing her in a dumpster, but when they get back in the house, there's some loud banging, and Annabelle's like, "Bitch, you can't get rid of me in the dumpster. I'm a demon. I love trash." So the Warrens are like, yeah, there was probably no Annabelle because demons lie a lot. It's kind of their thing. Plus, demons don't possess objects, they possess people, so it was probably just like hanging out in the doll until it could get to you. So the Warrens hook the girls up with some blessings and take the doll off their hands. The next time we see her, she's tucked away in the Warren basement amongst all of their other cursed items. Only they've taken an extra special precaution of locking her in a glass case. What? Did some other shenanigans happen after they took the doll home? All their other shit is just like out. It doesn't even look organized. What is this thing? He looks kind of terrifying. Why isn't he locked up? My point is that out of all of these things, Annabelle is the one that needs to be on extra special lockdown so that she doesn't burn the house down or something. So presumably she is the most dangerous item that these people have ever come across in their entire career. So that's pretty terrifying, and that's just like the beginning. Then most of the rest of the movie happens and we don't hear about her anymore. Until we do. So, some brief context. This family's house is haunted. The Warrens eventually encounter the mother who asks for their help. They agree to investigate, blah, blah, blah. Something really bad happened here. Let's try to get rid of it. Turns out the demon is super sassy and is not having it. Cut to Lorraine in the basement figuring out some stuff, and the demon is like, I'm sick of this. Chases her out and snatches her necklace. So since Lorraine and her daughter's necklaces are like connected in some way, the demon's like, haha, now I'm gonna go be mean at your house. The daughter gets up, goes downstairs, and oh my god, she's loose! Then, things get a little out of control. I know some of you are like, well, that's not that scary because it's not really like the doll is haunted, it's just the demon using it for stuff. Yeah, but to be fair, this demon got to their house and just like didn't even hesitate. There's like an entire room of tainted items and it's like, yes, that one, it's not even a contest. So that was the world's introduction to Annabelle. I was like, oh, that was scary. Is that gonna be what the sequel is? Or the Warrens gonna have to figure out what to do with her because she's kind of like acting up a little bit? That would be interesting. Oh, no, she gets her own movie. Oh, okay, is James Wan directing it? No, not really. He's like kind of involved, but not really. Oh, okay, well who's doing it? This guy? Okay, well, what's he directed?
Prepare for final battle!
Oh my god, no. Okay, so first of all, let me just say that I rarely put subtitles on things that are in my native language, but in Annabelle, I couldn't hear a word anybody was saying. I should only have to turn my volume up so high.
That to sound like it did. I'm sorry. It's not like difficult or challenging or bad things anyway.
I don't know what the sound was like seeing it in the theater since I watched this way after it came out, but I watched it for the first time streaming it on Amazon and it was hella quiet. I'm assuming this was to intensify the jump scare volume. I can't really think of any other reason to make the entire rest of the film almost inaudible, but hey, maybe it's just me. I just found it super hard to hear. Anyway, the movie begins with a short recap of the beginning of The Conjuring, we're nurses, we help people, blah blah blah, and title. And the text looks like I did it for some reason. And then we have our two main characters, Mia and John, and oh boy, they're goofing around in church thumb wrestling. They are fun and have chemistry. And after church, they have a really awkward exchange with their neighbor.
Who won?
John, but he cheats.
What? It was 2 against 1. I had to do something, right?
Yeah, right.
What was that reaction? He just tried to make a joke about the thing that you brought up.
Yeah, right.
Then our main character, Mia, goes into the church because their neighbor's wife is still in there and she's like,
I swear one day he thinks I'll just run off too.
okay. So everybody goes home and the two couples chit-chat in front of their houses for a minute, and oh my god, the dialogue in this movie is so strange.
Did we ask about names yet?
Sharon.
What is this guy's problem? That was a perfectly normal question. No wonder he's afraid of her running away. He's awful. Then the conversation gets even stranger.
It's a boy, and we're thinking Phyllis if it's a girl.
We were?
Yeah, you said you liked it.
I never said that.
It's my grandmother's name.
And I can't stand your grandmother.
Oh dear.
I mean, it's not only me. I mean, nobody can stand her.
No, she's right. Everyone hates her.
Okay, well, on that note, Sharon, let's go inside. These two, they have a lot to talk about.
Children are a blessing.
Indeed, they are. And then they learn to talk.
So they part ways and Mia's like, oh, we shouldn't talk about the baby in front of them because their daughter ran away 2 years ago with some cult and I don't want to make them sad. Later that night, John's like, I'm sorry, I've been so busy being a doctor and stuff, so I got you this. Even later on that night, their neighbors just straight up get murdered and John is like, call an ambulance, so Mia ends up in their house by herself just long enough to get attacked by the crazies who killed their neighbors. The crazy lady's walking around with the new doll for some reason. Mia gets Game of Thrones pregnant stabbed by the crazy lady's boyfriend. There's a scuffle, the cops show up and shoot the crazy guy, and the crazy lady decides to go chill in the other room and cut her own throat while holding the doll. Cool. Turns out it was their neighbor's runaway daughter, Annabelle, who I guess decided to kill a bunch of people because she joined some satanic cult or whatever. Mia's baby survives, but she gets put on bed rest for the remainder of her pregnancy, and oh boy, the house is haunted now. Her sewing machine comes on by itself, the doll starts rocking in the chair by itself, standard house haunting stuff at first. Then John is like, hey, I have to go to a work thing out of town for a little while, so I was gonna leave you here sick and alone in the house we got attacked in, okay? Don't be mad, I got you a pickle. Mia's like, okay, but I don't like that doll anymore because it reminds me of bad stuff, so throw it away before you leave, please. But of course we know that shit's not gonna work. And predictably, it makes whatever's haunting them mad and it sets their house on fire. Popcorn's burnt. The spirit gives her the old horror movie leg yank to keep her in the house, but some people come in and save her. She gets taken to the hospital where she has a healthy little baby girl. Mia's like, I named her Leah to rhyme with my name, also I don't want to live in our house anymore, it's cursed. And John's like, yeah, that's fair. Cut to them living in a nice apartment and things are fine for 5 minutes. They go to church and afterwards their priest is like, hey, can I take your picture? And Mia's like, oh, okay, that's kind of random, but okay. Then he's like, oh, hey, I miss those people that got murdered next door to you. And she's like, that's nice, I have to go home now. The couple go back home to finish unpacking and then holy shit, the doll's back for some reason. And Mia isn't freaked out by this, like, at all.
Wait a sec, how did that get in there? I swear I threw it out.
I don't know. Things must have got mixed up after the fire.
Here, give her to me.
No. You gave her to me as a gift.
Wait, what? You literally moved here because you thought the other house was cursed. Why would you suddenly be okay with a doll that someone killed themselves while holding? How would your garbage get mixed up with your actual belongings? Has your addiction to dolls finally gotten out of control? God! So on some other random day, Mia falls asleep on the couch and a ghost lady touches her baby and she wakes up like, whoa, what happened? Let's go for a walk. On her way downstairs, she meets some neighbor kids.
I'm Mia, and this is Leah. Yeah. What's your name?
It's me. I said don't tell her.
Jeez, who do you remind me of? Why is every interaction this woman has with her neighbors like this? Mia continues on her walk and walks past a bookstore.
Hey, you're the new tenants at the Palmieri, aren't you?
Yeah, how do you know?
I suppose this little one is pretty much new to everything.
Actually, I've been stabbed and in a fire before I was even born, so don't patronize me.
Adorable.
I'm Mia.
Evelyn, hi. Here, this was my daughter's favorite. Maybe Leah will like it too when she's a little older.
It's very sweet. Thank you.
Well, feel free to stop by anytime.
Thank you.
Okay. Hi, person I've never met. Here's a book. Hi, baby. Come here whenever you want. Bye. So Mia goes home and finds some little kid drawings on the stairs of a baby carriage getting hit by a truck. She assumes, of course, that one of the kids drew it and is like, hey, honey, we should probably tell their parents. And John's like, maybe we shouldn't make a big deal out of it. And then they argue for a while. Meanwhile, cut to the doll like, hey, am I still in this movie? Guys? Then John's like, hey, sorry, let's have a nice dinner together tomorrow so we can talk. But of course he doesn't show up and leaves Mia in the apartment by herself at night. What could go wrong? So of course the record player starts going on and off, the sewing machine turns on by itself, and there's a little girl who turns into a big girl, and oh my god, how's my hair? And by the way, what was that? Why would the spirit close the door on itself slightly while running towards it? Did it think it would make its little switcheroo magic trick look cooler? Seems kind of impractical. Mia tells John what she saw and he doesn't believe her, and they argue some more and he's like, we need to see someone.
So we turned to the church, Father. It's what my parents did when they hit a rough patch.
This is not at all the same thing, but okay.
And it worked for them.
I understand, of course. But you two hit more than just a rough patch.
Anyways, can I take your picture? So that scene goes nowhere. They run into the bookstore lady again, and it's like the exact same scene as before, just with John in it now. Mia ends up going into the apartment basement to put away some recycling or something, and it just gets way out of control from here. Wait. I thought you had to invite the demon in for it to escalate this far. The people that came into her house weren't invited. I thought those were the haunted doll rules. Is there a loophole where if you bleed on something ugly, a demon is released? Is the doll even haunted? Is she even necessary at this point? I can't even tell anymore, since there have been like 3 different manifestations of this demon already. What is happening? Anyways, Mia runs and the demon is like, haha, I shall give chase. Oh no, door's my one weakness. Mia notices there's a mark on her arm and then it disappears, so problem solved, I guess. She ends up talking to the detective that worked on their case, and he's like, yeah, they were satanic and they were trying to summon a demon, but don't worry because it's all a bunch of hocus pocus. No, yeah, that's like literally what he says.
Well, because this is all just a bunch of hocus pocus.
She looks through some pictures and oh boy, the symbol Annabelle drew on her wall is the same one the demon put on her arm for 2 seconds.
Have you ever heard the expression, sometimes a cigar is just a cigar?
No? The detective informs her that the cult called themselves the Disciples of the Ram, and the music lingers for a little bit and the scene ends. So one would be led to believe that the emphasis put on that last statement would mean that this must be significant to the overall plot. I mean, there's no way that it's just pointless, right? Right? So Mia goes back to that bookstore and Evelyn, the bookstore lady, is like, hey, I can tell something's bothering you. Why don't you tell me what it is? Mia hesitates, but then is like, I think a ghost is haunting my family. Evelyn's like, yeah, I believe you. Here's a bunch of books. Also, I don't think it's a ghost that's haunting you. It's probably something inhuman.
Demons.
Well, yeah, I don't know why you're just realizing this now, considering you just saw a very demon-y looking demon. That is not what Annabelle looked like from what I can remember. And speaking of Annabelle, the doll is still just chilling in the baby's room doing jack shit. Mia notices a scar on Evelyn's arm, and Evelyn explains that her daughter passed away and she got so depressed that she tried to kill herself. But as she was waiting to die, she heard the voice of her daughter tell her it wasn't her time and that God had other plans for her.
I heard her voice. She told me that it wasn't my time, that God had another purpose for me. You too have a purpose, Mia. To protect your family. So don't think you're crazy for trying to do that. You do what you think is right. You do what you have to do.
Anyways, good luck with that demon. Mia gets home and while in front of her apartment building, drops her keys, sees an apparition in the glass door, and doesn't see that the baby carriage is heading into a moving truck. But it's okay because she was holding the baby the whole time. Wait, what? So the children's drawing, the vision of the bloody carriage, and this whole scene was all to set up a false scare. These kids, by the way, we never see them again. So the entire point of showing them drawing downstairs was to trick Mia into thinking one of the kids drew that truck picture to make the audience think it was foreshadowing the demon trying to kill the baby in that very specific way, so that we're tricked into thinking that the baby is inside the carriage when it gets hit by the truck. This was entirely for the audience and makes no fucking sense. It's not even as if the demon actually tried to kill the baby and she saved it at the last second. She was holding it before the carriage even started moving. The demon was already looking right at her and knew that the thing was empty. So what was the point of any of this? Does a demon go about stealing your soul by performing a bunch of elaborate pranks? Is it trying to sever the bond between mother and child by taking away their ability to take jaunty strolls downtown? I can't. Movie, why? Mia starts going through the books. There's that symbol again, and oh, there's a noise. She gets locked in the baby's room. The demon starts trying to teach the baby how to read or something, and hey, there's our leading lady. Mia breaks down the door, saves her baby from an education, and oh, is it all gonna actually do something? Oh no, not really, I guess. Sean finally believes something weird's going on and they call the priest to come over their apartment.
Mia, this doll, may I see it?
Can I take her picture?
I still don't understand what the doll has to do with this supposed demon.
Oh, me neither, John. Me neither.
Demons can sometimes use objects as conduits to achieve their desired goal.
Their desired goal?
Our souls, John.
That's why it's after Leah.
Demons can't just take souls, Mia. A soul needs to be offered to the demon before it can take it.
Well, I don't plan on offering my soul anytime soon.
The devil is the father of lies.
And the king of the dance floor. My point is he's not fucking around, okay? So the priest takes the doll back to the church to try to figure out, oh, nope. No, that didn't work. You're done. The next day, Mia and Evelyn are hanging out and things are all cute and fun for 5 minutes before Mia's like, hey, how did your daughter die? Evelyn then tells the story of when she was driving her daughter home from a family thing and then fell asleep at the wheel.
I woke up 3 weeks later, and Ruby never did.
Okay, I'm kind of sorry I asked now. Meanwhile, back at the hospital, the priest regains his consciousness and is like, when the demon booped me on the head, I saw that it doesn't want your baby's soul, it wants your wife's soul. Also, I don't have the doll anymore, and I don't know where it is. Please go home. Then a whole bunch of bullshit happens. The demon disguises itself as the priest for no reason. The baby straight up goes missing. Evelyn gets shoved into the hallway and Mia tries to get her baby back by smashing the doll. But then it looks like it's her baby now. But then it turns into a different doll. And then we get the most exquisite line delivery in the entire movie.
There has to be another way!
Which is immediately met with an answer. So Mia grabs the Annabelle doll and is like, guys, I have to give the demon my soul so we can get our baby back. And John's like, please don't do that, and pulls her away from the window. Then the most ridiculous bullshit in the world happens. Evelyn decides to give up her soul / kill herself to save the baby.
This is what Ruby meant.
No! That is in no way what your daughter meant when she said God had other plans for you. Giving your soul to a demon seems like the exact opposite of what God would want you to do. Mom, don't kill yourself. You need to live so that you can kill yourself. And the weirdest part is that it works. The demon's like, oh boy, you got me. Fair's fair. Here's the baby back. So all of the specifics of the cult, including that symbol, what their name was, and all the info in those books ended up having nothing to do with the actual solution to this problem. It just ended up having a standard demon motivation anyway. A soul. No big ceremony required, just jump out this window, thank you. It didn't even end up being picky about which soul either. It spends the entire movie specifically going after Mia by messing with her baby, and at the last second it's like, oh yeah, no, this soul's fine too, I'm fine with whatever, I'm easy. Where even was the baby? In the upside down? Was she in the further? What in the actual fuck? And oh boy, the movie's still going. The couple goes to church and are like, hi priest, any sign of the doll? And he's like, no, I haven't seen her. Hopefully the next people will get the help they need. Wink, wink, Conjuring reference. Oh, and here's the picture I took of you, the end, right? Right? Nope. Still going. Great. So it turns out the doll ends up at some antique store because she's a collector's item, and oh boy, who comes in to buy her?
Find something for my daughter. Thanks. She's a nurse. Always helping people.
Oh, for God's sake. Why do you even want that? Why did this movie get made? And why in the name of everything that is holy would you write a character named Mia, who is a mom, and not have any of the other characters take advantage of this by calling her Mamma Mia? You have wasted my time. Thumbs down. Oh, but wait, there's another movie, Annabelle Creation, which I will talk about in part 2, because I can't take much more of this shit at the moment. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for part 2. Love you. Goodbye.